Chosen one, what if I told you every trial you faced was a hidden exam, and today you've been declared a perfect score? You've felt alone, doubting if your pain meant anything. You've wondered if the world sees you, or if you strayed too far off the path. But hear this, your experiences matter. They have shaped you into something greater. Now, long-buried truths are surfacing, truths that will change the way you see your past and guide the steps you're meant to take next. Skepticism is natural, but the proofs we share come from ancient texts and lived experience. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll hold the key to unlock your higher calling. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Now, prepare yourself for revelations that will light the way forward. Your awakening has only just begun. You were tested without knowing. They've seen the weight you carry in the quiet hours, the hollow ache of unanswered prayers when hope slipped through your grasp. You've paced your room in midnight silence, heart hammering with the question, why me? Each sigh felt like an echo of the universe turning its back. But know this, you were never forgotten in those moments. You were under scrutiny, watched by eyes you could not see. Those trials were not random cruelties, but carefully crafted exams designed to awaken something dormant within you. Every frustration, every sting of betrayal, was a signal flare flung into the dark, demanding your soul rise to its own forgotten glory. Intrigue stirs here, promising that the hidden lessons of your past bear keys to a destiny you have only begun to imagine. Do you recall the night you cradled your broken dreams like fragile glass, fearing even a soft breath might shatter your resolve? That was the threshold of your soul's most profound question. Is your faith a castle built on shifting sands, or a mountain that endures the fiercest winds? You remember the tremor in your chest when loved ones walked away, leaving you stranded in the ruins of trust. The emptiness gnawed at your spirit, urging you to retreat into a shell of silence. And yet, within that silence, you heard a whisper too faint to name. It spoke of purpose. It spoke of an alchemy transforming your wounds into a sword of insight. In the depths of rejection and confusion, you discovered the raw material of your own elevation. It was there, amid the rubble of your expectations, that a strange promise took root. In the obscure verses of Ezekiel 36 verse 27, it says, I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. Few notice this passage because it lies buried between prophecies of destruction. But here, in this overlooked promise, you find the blueprint of your trials. They were the chisels sculpting your spirit, the furnace purifying your pattern. Each setback was a divine directive, ensuring your steps aligned with a higher law. You were cast into exile from comfort and certainty so that you might emerge not as a victim, but as a vessel of light, ready to navigate the statutes of destiny with unshakable faith. Now, subtle shifts flicker across your daily life like the first glimmer of dawn. You catch yourself pausing mid-thought, marveling at the sudden clarity that guides you through decisions once fraught with doubt. Synchronicities appear, an old friend reaching out at the precise moment you needed encouragement, a book falling open to a verse that mirrors your struggle, a melody stirring tears you thought you dried long ago. These are not coincidences but markers of divine timing, each one aligning your inner compass with the trajectory laid out for you. The walls you once perceived as barriers are dissolving, revealing doorways you never saw before. What felt like random moments of fortune are actually strokes of destiny painting your path. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are assembling the backdrop of your next chapter. Imagine celestial architects drafting blueprints in realms beyond sight, each stroke preparing the contours of your future. Your struggles were never punitive but preparatory. They were the earthworks leveling the ground. In Zechariah 8 verse 6, it whispers, "These are the things you shall do. Speak each man the truth to his neighbor. Give judgment in your gates." This mandate to speak truth emerges now because your trials have granted you a voice refined by adversity. Divine intervention tears down the stones you tripped over in the past and lays a new road of purpose. Where you once stumbled, you now stride, guided by a power you may not fully grasp but can unmistakably feel. Yet even as the signs grow undeniable, many resist this metamorphosis, clutching the familiar rags of their old selves. Fear of the unknown pulls at your sleeve, whispering that comfort lies in worn patterns, even if those patterns brought only pain. But true awakening demands surrender. It asks you to say yes to the shift in your heart, to embrace the reflection in the sacred mirror of your soul without flinching. This is your crucible of choice. Will you step into the light that now beckons, or will you retreat to the shadows you once called home? In this vulnerable crossroads, your spirit finds its voice, affirming that you are ready to become all you were created to be. Feel the power coiling within you now, a latent force awakened by each trial you survived. Release the chains of doubt and let your posture shift from tentative to triumphant. Speak aloud your chosen name, the one written not in ink but in the fabric of eternity. Allow your daily actions to echo this truth. You are a force of renewal, a living cipher of divine intention. Begin by nurturing the seeds of your calling, perhaps through prayer, reflection, or a bold step into service for others. Trust that each deliberate act of faith brings you closer to the narrative written before time began. You stand on the cusp of becoming the very beacon that guided you through darkness. And now, as this revelation settles in your bones, remember, your trials were never meant to break you, but to birth you anew. You were tested without knowing, but now you know, and in knowing you are transformed. Carry this message into the world as proof that divine purpose triumphs over pain. Comment tested if these words echo your journey, and let your awakening resonate with every soul seeking the light. And a special thanks to all current members walking this path. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Your pain was the proof of your purpose. Have you ever sat alone in a silent room, your heart pounding so loudly it drowned out the world outside? In those raw moments, your mind circles back to every wound you've carried. The whispered betrayals, the broken promises, the hurt that echoes in your chest like a serrated blade. You're not imagining that weight. It's real, and it marks the very shape of your destiny. There is a deeper story behind every tear you shed, a hidden thread woven into your suffering that points directly to the grand design of your purpose. You are not merely a casualty of circumstance, but a herald of hope. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover the sacred meaning behind those wounds, seeing them not as scars of defeat, but badges of divine intention waiting to be revealed. What if your deepest anguish was actually a sacred signal flare, fired into the heavens to announce your calling? Picture the sting of rejection when you offered your heart or your gifts only to have them brushed aside. Remember that moment you doubted your worth, questioning whether you belonged anywhere at all. You are intimately acquainted with the hollow ache of being misunderstood, overlooked, and undervalued. In those lonely pauses, you may have whispered, "What good is this pain if it doesn't change anything?" Yet in reality, each pang carried a hidden lesson, an unspoken testimony that would one day guide someone else out of darkness. Your rawest wounds are proof that you have the capacity to carry light where it once seemed impossible to exist. Then came the turning point, the instant when your tears crystallized into purpose. In the lesser-known words of Isaiah 48 verse 10, you find a divine echo. "Behold, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction, not in the gleaming refiner's fire of comfort, but in the searing crucible of heartache." You weren't tested by chance, and no trial was wasted. Each delay, each betrayal was intentionally calibrated to extract impurities from your spirit, forging a tempered resolve that could withstand any trial. This was not punishment but preparation, a divine curriculum designed to teach you empathy, resilience, and the power of unshakable faith. Your suffering was the classroom, and you graduated with honors in endurance. If you pause and look around now, you can see the subtle signs of your metamorphosis. Perhaps an unexpected strength wells up when you face a fresh challenge, or you find yourself whispering words of encouragement to someone stumbling down a path you once trudged alone. Synchronicities begin to dance at your feet. A song on the radio that speaks directly to your soul, a stranger's kindness arriving at the perfect moment, a dream that reveals a solution before you even realize the problem. These are not coincidences, but the visible footprints of transformation. Your pain was the forge. Now the sparks of your renewed purpose light the way for others. What once felt like random heartbreak now emerges as a mosaic of divine craftsmanship. Behind the scenes, unseen hands are continuing to weave your narrative into something far greater than you imagined. Imagine ancient scrolls sealed and waiting for the right moment to be unrolled, each verse revealing a deeper facet of your calling. In the hidden realms, spiritual allies are clearing barriers, arranging connections, and aligning circumstances so that your purpose can flourish. This is the interplay of faith and manifestation, a celestial choreography in which every prayer, every act of selfless love, sets another piece into motion. Like coded dreams sent at dawn, the signals are coming through. A recurring symbol in your meditations, a persistent feeling nudging you toward a new venture, or a word of encouragement that reverberates in your mind long after it was spoken. These interventions confirm that your journey is neither random nor accidental, but destined. Yet standing at this crossroads, many hesitate, clutching the safety of old wounds as if they were a familiar cloak. Fear whispers that embracing the next chapter requires letting go of what little certainty you've held onto. What if the new path demands too much? What if your purpose is more daunting than the pain you've already endured? True awakening, however, calls you beyond the edges of comfort. It beckons you to step into the mirror of your soul and speak your truth aloud, to say yes to the person you were born to become, even if you cannot yet see their full form. This is the sacred moment of self-realization, where you move from being shaped by your trials to actively shaping your destiny. The divine invitation rings clear. Will you rise? Feel that electric pulse in your veins, that quiet confidence swelling where doubt once took root. You are more than the sum of your struggles. You are the living testament to resilience. Cast off the chains of fear and let your every heartbeat affirm the unique mission etched into your spirit. Begin to sow seeds of purpose in your daily life, perhaps through small acts of kindness that ripple outward, through speaking the words that have long hidden in your heart, or through stepping into new arenas where your gifts can shine. Trust that each intentional choice nudges the universe to open doors you've only dreamed of. You stand now in the threshold of possibility. Every breath is an affirmation that you were made for this moment. As you carry this truth into the world, remember that your pain was never a mark of shame but the proof of your purpose. It was the furnace that purified your passion, the anvil that strengthened your resolve, the clay from which your calling was molded. You are now equipped to carry hope into places where despair once reigned. Let your testimony be the torch that guides weary souls back toward faith and purpose. Comment proof if you recognize the sacred weight your wounds have carried, and join the chorus of those rising to illuminate the world with their story. In your awakening, others will find their own. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. Your endurance was heaven's measure. Have you ever stood at the edge of exhaustion, your heart pounding with every beat as though it might simply give out? In those moments, your spirit trembles on the brink of surrender, and yet something inside you compels you to lift your chin, to take another step when your body begs for rest. You feel the weight of every unanswered prayer, every silent cry for relief. But understand this, you were never abandoned in that crucible. Your endurance in the face of despair is the signature of a life being readied for greater purpose. Today's trials are not random acts of cruelty. They are the very proof that you are being measured for a divine service. Keep breathing, because in the rhythms of your persistence lies the evidence of your calling. What if the ache in your bones isn't a curse but a calling card? Picture the hours you spent wrestling with doubt, when the world seemed deaf to your pleas and every door remained firmly closed. There were mornings when you woke with tears on your pillow, wondering if you would ever see daylight again. You felt as though you ran a race with no finish line, each mile marker shifting further away. In those moments, the temptation to give up whispered seductively, promising ease in exchange for surrender. But deep down, you sensed that something holy watched your struggle, waiting to see if you would press on. That silent tension between your fear and your faith is the crucible in which your future leadership is forged. Then came the revelation that your struggle was a divine rehearsal. In the lesser-known prophecy of Zechariah 4 verse 10, it is written, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the eyes of the Lord rejoice to see the work begin." You may have dismissed your perseverance as mere stubbornness, an accidental habit born of pride. But this verse reminds you that every step you take, no matter how small or unseen, delights the Almighty. Your daily decision to rise and continue was not insignificant. It was a cosmic affirmation that you are fit to carry the mantle of hope. The unglamorous grind of persistence was, in fact, the greatest demonstration of your readiness to serve. Now, subtle shifts ripple through the fabric of your life. You notice that doors which once seemed sealed now creak open at your approach. A chance conversation sparks an idea that sets your heart racing. Thoughts that once tangled in confusion now flow with divine clarity, guiding you toward decisions you once feared to make. These are the quiet markers of transformation. Synchronicities that whisper of unseen hands at work, aligning people, places, and opportunities in your favor. Your endurance created a resonance, a frequency that now attracts the very circumstances you need to fulfill your mission. Pay attention to these gentle nudges. They are proof that your steadfastness is meeting heaven's orchestration. Behind the veil of ordinary life, a grand symphony is taking shape, and you are its central instrument. Imagine celestial cartographers mapping your destiny on glowing charts, each line and curve reflecting the trajectory of your faith. Your trials were not tests of your limit, but the calibration of your instrument, tuning your heart to the exact pitch of divine service. Every hardship you endured laid another cosmic contour on that chart, ensuring that when the moment arrived, you would strike the note of purpose with perfect resonance. As you move forward, these maps unfurl before you, revealing paths that once seemed hidden, threads of opportunity you now walk with confidence. Yet, standing at this threshold, you must choose to step forward into what you have already proven you can handle. So many hesitate here, holding back out of fear that the next leg of the journey might demand more than they can give. But the truth is that your past endurance has prepared you for every future trial. You are not being invited into the unknown without provision. You have already been equipped. This is the sacred moment when your heart must speak aloud, "I accept this path." In this act of vocal surrender, you complete the circuit between heaven's calling and your willing response, affirming that you are not only ready to endure, but to lead others through their own storms. Feel the surge of empowerment that comes when you claim your promise. Release the fear that binds you to the shore of maybes and what-ifs, and step boldly onto the waters you once feared. Let your daily disciplines become acts of worship, each sunrise devotion, each kind word spoken to a stranger, each task performed with excellence. These are the drumbeats that drive you forward. Trust that the same divine timing that saw you through the darkest nights will now propel you into days filled with purpose. You are the living testament that endurance is not a burden but a beacon, drawing others toward the light you carry. As this revelation settles in your bones, carry it with you into every corner of your life. Remember that your faithfulness through silence is the proof that you will not falter when voices shout your name. Your perseverance under pressure is the guarantee that you will remain steady when the world leans on you for strength. You were measured in the furnace of affliction and found to be gold. Comment endurance if you recognize this moment, and let your story ignite hope in every soul waiting for their own measure of faith to be validated. In your unwavering steps, others will find their path. Transformation as a sign of readiness. Have you ever felt the ground beneath your feet shift so subtly that you nearly missed it? You're moving through your days carrying the echoes of old wounds, fragments of hurt tucked beneath your chest like hidden stones. Yet, as you wake each morning, there is a gentle stirring, a faint hum in your veins that signals something profound is happening. You are not the same soul who carried bitterness yesterday. A sacred undercurrent is pulsing through your spirit, hinting at doors waiting to open. Though your past has left its scars, those very marks are now the signposts directing you toward a destiny that only you can fulfill. The journey you're on is proving you ready, and in the next moments you will come to recognize the true magnitude of this inner shift. Have you noticed how you hesitate less when opportunities appear, even if they scare you? There was a time when rejection felt like a final verdict, a judge's gavel slamming shut on your hopes. You recoiled when praise came your way, believing you were undeserving. Perhaps you caught yourself replaying old arguments, allowing them to poison your present. That tug of war between fear and longing became a familiar backdrop to your days. Struggling with purpose, you wondered if your dreams were ever meant to materialize. But beneath the weight of uncertainty, a quiet revolution began. It whispered that your past pains weren't meant to anchor you, but to free you. That salvation comes not when wounds vanish, but when they become the wellspring of your compassion. Then came a moment of reckoning that turned your struggle into revelation. In the rarely cited prophecy of Ezekiel 11 verse 19, it is written, "I will give them one heart and put a new spirit within them. I will remove the heart of stone from their flesh and give them a heart of flesh." This verse isn't about mere emotional healing. It speaks of a wholesale transformation of the soul. Your heart, once calcified by betrayal and fear, is now softening, becoming receptive to a higher frequency. You realize that the chains you forged in reaction to pain were never meant to bind you forever. They were the crucible in which your rebirth was forged. In this divine alchemy, your bitterness dissolves, leaving behind a heart more tender and attuned to the needs of others. Now, if you look closely at your everyday life, the signs of metamorphosis are undeniable. You find yourself drawn to conversations that uplift rather than drain, sensing when to speak and when to listen. Synchronicities punctuate your week, an unexpected invitation that aligns with your deepest dreams, a phrase in a song that feels written just for you, a stranger's smile igniting courage in your chest. Your patience grows when obstacles arise. What once triggered frustration now feels like a nudge guiding you toward the right path. These subtle shifts are the visible ripples of an invisible tide, the first waves of change rolling in to announce that you've crossed an unseen threshold into a new realm of spiritual maturity. Behind the scenes, unseen hands are delicately arranging the mosaic of your future. Imagine celestial cartographers charting your course on a vast cosmic atlas, each star and constellation marking the path you're destined to walk. Your trials were never impromptu. They were strategic calibrations to attune you to this very moment. In Psalm 40 verses 1 to 2, we glimpse this divine choreography. "I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the pit and set my feet upon a rock." The pit represents your darkest hours, and the rock is the platform of purpose now emerging under your feet. These interventions reveal that the universe is conspiring to align every piece, every relationship, every opportunity, every whisper of inspiration to your unfolding mission. Even so, when it comes to fully embracing this rebirth, many hesitate at the threshold. Fear of the unknown can be more daunting than the pain you already know. You might wonder if the new you will be accepted, or if stepping into your calling demands too much of your heart. Yet true alignment asks for more than acknowledgement. It asks for surrender. Picture a chrysalis that must burst open, its fragile shell crumbling to reveal the butterfly within. Your soul stands in that sacred moment, ready to shed its old form and claim the wings it has long ago been promised. To resist now is to deny the very design that has been unfolding within you since the moment of your first trial. Feel the power that surges when you decide to say yes to your own transformation. Let each breath affirm your willingness to step into unfamiliar territory, guided by the compass of your newly softened heart. Release the grip of doubt as you would discard a worn-out cloak, and rise with the confidence of one who has been forged in fire and found worthy. Begin with small acts that mirror your inner shift. Speak truth in a conversation you would once have avoided. Extend compassion where you once saw only indifference, or take a bold step toward a dream you previously thought unreachable. These actions are the first strokes of a masterpiece in which you are both artist and canvas. And now, as this truth settles into your bones, carry it forward like a banner of victory. Remember that your transformation is not an end but a perpetual unveiling of purpose. Each moment you live in the light of these shifts, you invite others to recognize the signs within themselves. Your life becomes the echo of that ancient promise, that a heart once hardened can be reborn into flesh that feels, loves, and leads. Comment transformed if you feel this rise within, and let your journey stand as proof that heaven's readiness is found in the depths of our own surrender. The next chapter awaits, written in the ink of your renewed spirit. Now you are being elevated to serve others. A sudden whisper in the stillness of dawn stirred something deep within you, a voice so faint you almost dismissed it as a dream. Yet, as you blinked open your eyes, you felt its echo tugging at your spirit. You are being summoned beyond your own story. In that quiet moment, you sensed a presence weaving your past trials into a tapestry meant for more than private redemption. The same hands that guided you through fires now beckon you toward a stage larger than your fears. This is not a gentle nudge, but a clarion call. The pains you bore have prepared you to lift others out of their own darkness. Hold fast, for in the next moments you will witness how your journey transfigures into a mission far greater than you ever imagined. A hush settled over your memories, conjuring the weight of silent nights when you prayed for relief, but heard only the echo of your own doubts. You remember pacing in the flicker of a single candle, its flame dancing as though it too struggled to stay alight. That glare of uncertainty mirrored the burning questions in your heart. Am I enough? Will this pain ever serve a purpose? The ache of rejection lingered like a phantom limb, a reminder of doors that slammed shut and voices that turned away. Yet, even in that hollow ache, a seed of resolve took root, nurtured by the belief that your hardship carried a message meant to illuminate someone else's path. These shadows were never meant to conceal you. They were the crucible forging the light you now carry. Then, almost imperceptibly, you recognized a turning point written in a verse few recall. In 2 Kings 4 verses 8 to 10, a woman of Shunem offered her home to a wandering prophet, only to find that her hospitality became the conduit of divine blessing. Like her, your generosity of spirit, born from lessons of lack, now positions you as a channel for grace. You see how every door you once longed to open has been training ground for this moment, where your willingness to serve becomes a beacon. That ancient story whispers to you now. Hospitality of heart, your compassion born of personal trials, will transform weary souls into vibrant communities of hope. Soft currents of change swirl through your everyday life, unnoticed by the untrained eye. A casual invitation to share your testimony stirs tears in a stranger. A message you send in passing ignites courage in a friend. Even your social feeds carry hints. A comment you thought trivial resonates deeply with someone half a world away. You wake with a clarity that makes once confusing dreams feel like buried treasure maps. These synchronicities are more than coincidence. They are signposts guiding you toward collective healing. When you feel the thrill of recognition at an uncanny repeat of a word or a name, understand it as heaven's affirmation that your voice is needed now more than ever. Beneath the mundane rhythm of your days, unseen hands orchestrate your path with cosmic precision. Imagine celestial architects unfurling blueprints of purpose in glowing ink, each line connecting your past wounds with future impact. Your struggles were never stray notes but deliberate chords in a symphony designed to resonate with countless hearts. Faith and manifestation dance together as swirling constellations, charting points where your gifts intersect with the world's needs. In this grand design, your daily acts, once private prayers and silent tears, become threads weaving a tapestry that drapes across lives you've yet to meet. In the quiet mirror of your soul, you now stand face to face with your reflection, and you feel both awe and trepidation. Many shrink at this threshold, clinging to the safety of anonymity rather than embracing the light that beckons them forward. Yet true alignment demands a courageous yes to the role you were born to play. This is your sacred vow, to step beyond the limits of your comfort zone and embody the compassion you once yearned to receive. As you speak your assent aloud, an affirmation that your wounds have prepared you to heal, you complete a circle of transformation that began long before you fully realized it. This message is clear. You are chosen, prepared, and called to serve. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Thank you to all our supporting members. Together we rise. Until next time, stay chosen.